Hello, Mrs. Ale here. I just wanted to take a minute to show you around the classroom and let you know some interesting things about your credit recovery chemistry class. So, the very first and most important thing I want you to look at is the course materials. If you click on it, it will bring up a screen like this. The first item you can click on is Class Connect recordings. The Class Connect recordings are from last year's class, and I put them all up here because you might want to work a little faster than I teach the chemistry course that you'll be invited to the Class Connect sessions this year. So you can click on this, and then there'll be another thing that you can click on, and it will open a new tab. This tab has all of the recordings from last year. So if you look, I have the lesson and the topic listed here, the date that I had taught it, and then the link to the recording. So say you're working through your lesson and chemistry and society, you can go here and click this button, and it will open up a new tab, and you can open the Class Connect recording and listen to it. That'll be really helpful if you're having trouble with a particular lesson. Some other important things here are the syllabus, teacher contact information, and then this right here is your chemistry problems and solutions book. You will not be mailed a chemistry book. Instead, you will click to access the online chemistry book. So at the end of the lesson, it will say, now turn to problems that such and such and complete problems 2 through 5. So since you don't have a physical book, you'll click here and it will pop open a tab that has your chemistry book. I like to print out the table of contents because it will tell you which problem set to turn to, but not which page to turn to. So for example, if you were needing to work on problem set 19, you would need to turn to page 38. It can be very time consuming to click over to page 38. So instead you can delete the page number that's there and type in the page number that you would like, and then you can click go to page. That gives you the problem set that you were looking for, and there's some more reading here and then some examples on how to solve the problems. And then on the next page there is the problem set with the questions that you can practice. Once you complete that, you can go back to this problems and solutions page in our classroom, and you can find the solution key. There's the PDF version and an HTML version. I like the HTML version. I just click on it, and then the solution key pops up, and you can go, okay, I was working on problem set 19. Let me check my answers. And then you can say, whoa, I totally got this. This is awesome. No problems here. Or you can say, oh, I'm kind of confused. Maybe I need to go back and watch the Class Connect recording, or maybe I would like to have a tutoring session with my teacher. Let me email her. And that is how you will be very successful in this course. Some other very important pieces of information. When you're working through credit recovery chemistry, it's very different than your other courses because the only things that count are your unit tests, part 1 and part 2. And if you have a mid-unit test, that also counts. So when you're working through unit 1, let's say, you're going to first, before you do anything, take the diagnostic test. The diagnostic test is not a graded test, but you do receive a score for it after you take it. The reason for this is because you've probably taken chemistry before and haven't passed it. Maybe you just had some trouble with the last few units and you got the first few units down pat. So you can take the diagnostic test and see how well you know the material already. If you pass the diagnostic test with flying colors, then you can move on quickly and attempt the mid-unit test. right here without going through all of the lessons. But if you don't pass it with flying colors, you need to go in and look and read through each lesson. There are quizzes at the end of the lessons, some of the lessons. Oops, let's see. Like right here, the review quiz. You can take those quizzes. They're not included in your final grade, but if you do take all of the quizzes associated with the lessons, then I will give you the extra credit points for that unit. So say you take all of the quizzes in Unit 1, you will get the extra credit for Unit 1. Now, you are not able to take your unit test or mid-unit test without first passing your diagnostic test with a 60% or greater. So say you go in and you take your diagnostic test and you get a 40%. Your next step is to go through the lessons and get the information that you need and learn what you are needing to learn to be able to pass the mid-unit 1 test in this example. Not every unit has a mid-unit 1, but you will not be able to take the mid-unit test until you pass the diagnostic test with a 60%. So you know, okay, I didn't do so well on the diagnostic test. Let me go back and review all of the lessons before the next test. And once you do that, then you have to go back up and take the diagnostic test again. If you take the diagnostic test again and pass with a 60% or greater, you can say, whoop, now I think I'm ready to take the mid-unit test. Then you can go to the mid-unit test, take that test. If you pass that test with a 60% or greater, you will be able to move on to the Unit 1 test. If you do not pass with a 60% or greater, then you need to go back and review lessons 1.01 to 1.11 again, and then retry the mid-unit test again. You will not be able to go to the next unit test or the next diagnostic test without passing any of the tests with less than a 60%. That is because you can't pass the course with a grade lower than a 60%, so you need to get at least a 60% on everything in order to pass the course. So that's why we have it set up that way. If you're having trouble, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to work with you on any of your material that you're struggling with. You're also going to be invited to each of the Class Connect sessions that I'm holding for Chemistry 303, which is not credit recovery. Some other things that you'll want to note, you don't have to do any of the discussions, which I think will just be hidden anyways, or the labs. Again, the only things that are required of you are the diagnostic tests, which are not included in your grade. The quizzes are not required, but if you do complete them, you will get extra credit for that unit. And then the things that you will be graded on are the mid-unit test, Part 1 and Part 2s, and the unit test, Part 1s and Part 2s. You can work through this as quickly as you would like, but I have a plan on here for you, and I've planned it out throughout the entire semester. So if you look here, I have the dates that you should be taking the mid-unit and unit assessments by. This will keep you on track to finish the course by the end of first semester. I will be entering zeros the Monday after you are supposed to have taken that particular test. If you do end up with a 0, that's not saying you have to keep that 0. You can still go back and take that test and replace that 0 with the score that you get for that test. And that is how credit recovery chemistry works. I also post classroom announcements from time to time, so make sure you check there, but I will also email it to you. as well. And other than that, I think it's going to be a great year. I'm excited to be your teacher, and I look forward to getting to know you. Thanks so much for your time.